Hey there, nomads of lore. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Sean.
And together we are Mead and Mischief, your home away from no home. Today, let's discuss Matt, the Dagger, and Shadar Logoth.
Before we jump in, we want to make sure you know that this video is going to be spoiler-filled for the Amazon TV show up through episode 2-ish, right? 1, 2, when's 7?
2?
Episode 2 of the show, and potential spoilers for the books throughout. Definitely for the first few books, at least, and we may even be spoiling some things later. These videos are kind of intended as discussion for primarily book readers, but you are welcome here either way. But this will be spoiler filled. So the scene that we're talking about, of course, is in Shadar Logoth. Or Shadar Logoth, as they pronounce it in the show. And some of the changes that were made to that scene. Of course, or Jonathan's going to kind of go over with what happens in the book. And in the show, Matt, Lan says, "Do not touch." And then Matt says, "Touch." And goes out and starts touching things and sees the shadow and wanders into this hallway and finds this chest thing and picks up a dagger. Ooh, ominous. And that's it.
Yep. So in the book, that same scene goes a little bit deeper. There's the boys basically go off looking. Of course,
Together.
Matt.
Yeah, they're all idiots all together.
Well, yeah, Matt kind of talks them into it, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they all go off together looking through the city, and they run across this old man. And the old man's like, "I am a treasure hunter, and I found treasure." And
in this creepy,
scary city where nobody's at, and Moraine's already kind of warned them about
Red
things.
Flag.
Yeah,
It should have been.
Yeah, but anyway, they somehow get persuaded to follow him down into this little room, and at that point in this room, there's tons of treasure, gold everywhere, and all this stuff. And at that point, this old man reveals himself to be Mordeth, and Mordeth exactly. And Mordeth is a pretty scary being in the Wheel of Time lore. It's pretty intense. Matt, at that point, unbeknownst to the rest of the group, takes the dagger because he's like, "Ooh, look, a shiny dagger," and because he's Matt and whatever else, sticks the dagger in his pocket. And Mordeth tries to get them to basically help release him from the city, which
they're trying to do that.
Yeah, trying to. Later on, we know from the books that Padan Fang goes in, and because he's following them, he follows them in, finds Mordeth a little bit later, and merges with Mordeth. And that the two of them basically really want that dagger back. They also have some power from the Dark One and all this kind of stuff. They're very, very powerful being and lots of craziness that comes beyond that.
So how are they going to deal with these changes? They have made some significant changes, as we just discussed.
Yep.
What are they going to do with that? Obviously, we have Johan Myers playing Padan Fane and doing a flipping fantastic job being creepy as heck in the Two Rivers and having this weird, creepy grin and whatever else. So doing an excellent job. So clearly they're going to be keeping the Padan Fane character as a thing, right? Which is great because it's a big deal in the books. So how are they going to do that at this point? So we have a few different theories about what they're going to do and how they're going to utilize this and what they're going to do with these things. So one theory, this is probably the worst. If they do this, they're going to have to do some. I don't know. I say this is probably the worst. They're going to have to be super creative and go off book and do their own thing if this is the way they choose to handle it. One way they could do it is that they totally forget Mordeth and they don't worry about that character at all, and they basically make Padan Fane's basically him just being corrupted by the Dark One. Essentially, the Dark One is his ring, and he's already kind of a Gollum-esque figure, at least at first, and whatever. But they just tie it to the single evil entity, and that's the Dark One. The biggest trick with doing that is making the dagger important and figuring out how to do that, because we've already established Shadar Logoth and Ardhall, and we've heard that story, and so we know that that's a thing. And so the trick with that one, which we don't even have a theory of how they would do it, but they'd have to figure out how to, at that point, tie the dagger in. So that's one way they could do it. And challenge. Yeah.
Next idea or theory that we have is that it possibly could be explained that Fane is just possessed by the evil from Shadar Logoth, as he
generically,
and they do like kind of a flashback scene again where it shows that he was there and whatever. But the problem with this that we can see is that there might be some later plot holes down the line or things that just might be an issue.
Yeah, it might not make sense why this happened this way. So our third theory, this is my favorite theory, but it really depends on how much time they're going to want to put into it. Whether I think the second and third theories here are the most likely, the one Jonathan just said, and this one, if they want to spend a very small amount of time, that one would work. This theory, if they want to spend a little bit more time developing it, is that they could go back and still have Mordeth. Obviously, he didn't meet the boys, and they take out that part, but basically have Mordeth
a meeting with Pod
on Fane and kind of have that whole possession / merging, whatever with him, and they do that as a flashback.
Which could be an actual really cool scene for sure.
Sure, and that could be a really good way to do it. So those are our theories about how they might get out of this pickle.
What are your thoughts on this? What are the potential issues or potential good things that could come out of Matt and this Shadar Logoth, the dagger, and Pod on Fane, all those things? Definitely let us know. Also, be checking soon. We will have a cool announcement to make for you guys and our community. So be checking out on that on the next few videos, and we will talk to you on the flip side. Like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Bye.